Full Throttle is the latest adventure from LucasArts' Tim Schafer, the man who brought you Day of the Tentacle and Sam and Max Hits the Road. And it's just as funny as those cartoon classics.
The main difference is that this is a macho, grit-your-teeth, 5-day stubble kind of adventure.
There's actually been a lot of anticipation around this product and a lot of high expectations, even around the IE office.
And some of us had our expectations smashed into the dirt.
Then again, some of us are maybe picky beyond reason. The player takes on the larger-than-life role of Ben Throttle, leader of the Polecats, one of the last motorcycle gangs around.
Ben and the Polecats get framed for the murder of Malcolm Corley, owner of Corley Motors, the last company that still makes motorcycles instead of hovercrafts. Malcolm was actually killed by Adrian Ripburger, Malcolm's second in command.
So Ben not only has to clear his name, but he also has to help Corley's daughter take her rightful place at the head of Corley Motors. If he doesn't, Ripburger will stop all motorcycle production and make hovercraft minivans.
Now that's mean. Minivans are the root of all evil.
There's no denying the visual impact of this game. It's just mesmerizing from the opening fade-in. It almost has the look of dark cartoons like Eon Flux.
It certainly has that dark sense of humor. Players with even the remotest sense of irony will find themselves rolling on the floor at Ben Throttle's philosophical soliloquies.
Yeah. When I think of Marine, I think of two things: asphalt and trouble.
Think of Raymond Chandler as a character in Easy Rider.
There's also an appropriately rockin' soundtrack by the Gone Jackals that we'll have to do in place of Steppenwolf.
There was a lot of promotion of the Gone Jackals in this game, but I didn't think their stuff was that memorable. Maybe it's just the contrast, but the one song that really stood out for me was done by a different group. It was a little country number by Chitlin's Whiskey and Skirt.
Thank the Lord each day for the apocalypse.
Funny stuff.
Speaking of funny stuff, there's just no faulting the casting on this game. Not only is the dialogue hilarious, but it's hard to picture this story without the outstanding deadpan delivery of Roy Conrad as Ben Throttle.
And Mark Hamill adds one more notch to his multimedia belt as the coolly menacing Adrian Ripburger, not to mention assorted other homicidal maniacs.
Fans of Animaniacs will have no trouble recognizing the distinguished tones of Maurice LaMarche, also known as the Brain, as Nestor, the henchman described by Ripburger as the smart one. Most of the game works under the SCUM engine that LucasArts fans know so well. The interesting thing is that there are several action sequences that use the Rebel Assault engine for motorcycle combat.
Interesting? Is that what you thought it was? It was torment. It was pain. There was all this great storyline and voice and animation, and I was really getting caught up in it all. Then we hit the highway. Suddenly the story has to come to a complete stop, and it won't go anywhere until I solve the so-called action puzzles. And they're no walk in the park, let me tell you.
Of course not, you fool. It's on motorcycles.
I'll ignore that. You have to hit the right bad guys with the right weapon at the right time in order to get the next weapon and wipe out the next guy. But it's not in sequence like that. You encounter the bad guys in an almost random pattern, which means a lot of falling. I swear it took 5 hours for me to solve this part.
Well, I'll admit I didn't like the highway battles as much as the rest of the game, but it was still kind of fun. Violent and a little gruesome, but fun anyway. At least the interface was cool, huh? Just click the left mouse button and you get this happy fellow. Then you pick your action from the tattoo.
How could anybody not like the flaming tattoo interface? The right click brings up an even bigger skull with your inventory inside. But like most of these LucasArts adventures, the number of things you can make any contact with is really limited. And you'll definitely have to play that enchanting game of Hunt the Pixel in order to win. Why can't people just leave all the available items out in clear view?
There's so much action in this game that LucasArts decided to break their adventure mold and actually make it possible near the end for the main character to die.
Outrageous. What a discouraging thing.
Of course, since you actually need to finish the game, you come back to life right before you made your fatal mistake.
If they're gonna have the character die, it should mean something. I can't believe they just take it back like that.
But overall, this game is quite a rush and an exciting piece of work. Action and humor from start to finish. I think Full Throttle is a fine addition to Tim Schafer's resume.
Wait a minute. Don't put on the closing soundbite yet. I have one more major complaint about Full Throttle. It's too short.
How can you say that? The story is as tight as a drum. Any more material would have just been filler, and it would have diminished the end result.
I don't care. I expect more bang for my buck. I finished this sucker in just over 2 hours.
I thought you said the combat scene took you 5 hours.
Yeah, 5 is more than 2. That's what I said. Anyway, I wasn't counting that part.